Hello, everybody, anybody. Hello, welcome once again. Jo's Kitchen. I hope some people will be joining me very soon. I hope somebody's there. Anybody there? Oh, Julie. Hi, Julie. Am I the right way up? I hope so. Hi, Samantha. Hi, Gail. Just get the iPad sorted out. Hi, Sue. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Philippa. I don't know what's happened to my iPad. It's on a go slow. Thank you very much. All perfect. Phew. You have no idea how many times I have practiced this over this weekend. Hi, Penny. Hi, Joanne. Oh, hi, Sue. Oh, it's so nice to see lots of hearts and lots of hi, Carol. Lots of people. Hi, Paula, that's joining me. Hi, Hilary. It's really nice. Sunday evening. I hope you've had a fantastic, lovely sunny day. It's been lovely here in West Yorkshire. There's a fly, little bugger. Hi, Jan. Had a beautiful sunny day. Last day of the summer holidays for me today. Unfortunately, back to the day job tomorrow. Hi, Leslie. Back to school. So unfortunately, 7 weeks to October half term. Hi, Belinda. So it's lovely to see you all. I've got a couple of cards I'm going to be making with you tonight, which you've probably already seen on the Hi Joe on the Facebook page. The tree and then the triangle one as well. Don't forget though that other people still next week. I've still got lives to go. Who is it? I've had to write it down, look. Tracy on Monday at 7 with her star card, and then Philippa on Tuesday morning at 10, which I won't get to see live this time because I'll be in school, which is sad. And then Wednesday at 7:30 in the evening, it's Jo. So I hope you enjoy those. All the stockists for all the stamps, for Hazel's new stamps, they're all pinned to the top of the Julie Hickey Designs Facebook page. And what else was I going to say? Oh yeah, inspiration. Loads and loads and loads of inspiration. Hi, Wendy. Loads and loads of inspiration on the Pinterest boards on the Julie Hickey Designs. Okay, so it's okay, Julie. I've written them, like I say, I'm prepped. It's the teaching assistant in me. Who'd have thought I get more nervous about doing this than I do standing up in front of a class full of children? But never mind. Right, I'm just going to, the new stamps are so beautiful to work with. Love playing today. Oh, they're fantastic to work with. They're so good. It's been an absolute privilege and a pleasure to work with them. My iPad has just completely died. So I know Philippa's there, I know Julie's there. When I flip the camera around, I might not be able to see what's going on with everybody. I have no idea what's happening with my iPad. It's properly on a go slow. So I will stop waffling at you. I will flip the camera and we will get going. Bear with. Right, just let me stand up and see if that looks okay. I think everything looks okay there. There's a little bit of a glare from the light, but when I move the stamps out of the way, then everything should be fine. Just bear with me 1 second while I just see if I can update my iPad, because at the moment it's just frozen on the live and I don't really know what's happening with it. So, all right, I'm back on. It's a bit weird, is the iPad as well. I don't know how anybody else feels when they're doing lives, but they're always a few seconds behind and I find that really, really strange. I don't like it. But anyway, so yeah, these stamps, designed by Hazel, essentially Christmas 1, essentially Christmas 2 and essentially Christmas 3. They're absolutely fantastic. I've loved playing with them. I love the sentiment there. I used that on the front of a card as opposed to going in the inside of one. Love the stag. Stick the little robin on his back. You can go traditional, you can go modern, contemporary. With these contemporary trees, they're absolutely amazing, and they work so well with Hazel's other designs as well. So, oh, beautiful nails, oh, thank you. Yeah, had them done. Yeah, they work really well with Hazel's other designs that she's done previously. They work well with any of the other Christmas products from Julie Hickey Designs, the stencils, the dies, everything. It just all works. The sentiments there, they work also. They go into Philippa's sentiments, sentiment circles, so that's really good as well. Right, so I will move those out of the way. I'll get them out in a minute. So, cards I'm going to make tonight. Okay, this is the first one. Okay, so it's the Christmas tree, half a Christmas tree. Love that sprig. Just absolutely think it's a beautiful, beautiful stamp to play with. Love the sprig, and I love that little bird as well. And I just think it's so clean and simple, and it's quite an easy card to do. Once you get going, it's a really, really nice, fun thing to do. And you can batch make them as well. You know, it doesn't take that long to stamp out the sprigs. So let's get going. Just hang on while I get the iPad. That's it. Right, so bob that there so I know what I'm doing. Right, I'm all very well prepared, she says. Her famous last words. I've even got a piece of card for the behind, so that's good. Right, ooh, catching up. Okay, so for my card base, I've got, can you see that? Okay, that's it. I've got a piece of the Pink Frog card, which is, I think it is, hang on a second. It's 10 by 30. Okay, so when you score it in half, it makes a really nice 10 by 15 card. So the first thing I'll do is get the old board out and give it a score. Okay, hope you can still see me okay. So I'm just going to score it at 15, straight down the middle. And I like this size of card, I really do. I like to be able to do either a fold like that or like a 10th fold. So it's a 10th fold that I'm going to be doing tonight on this one. On both of them actually, both 10th fold cards. So bob that down, put that there. I've even got a cup of coffee. I'll just have a quick drink. There we go. So that's the card base done. Right. I've also got a piece of the same card that I've just cut in half basically. Now then, the card base now measures 10 by 15. I don't know if I said this last time on my other live, but me and numbers don't really go. So I tend to not measure things very much, but I just eyeball things. So what I do is I'll just have a look and I'll just place the card, place the mat on the card, and just kind of, with a pencil sometimes as well, I just put a little mark, or it's about ½ centimetre anyway, that's all it is. I don't measure, I just eyeball, and I find that a lot easier, it works for me. And then I'll just bob it in the trimmer. Yeah, I love this size of card, Joe. I really do. I really do. And it's just a nice size just to post, just to make anything. I get frightened of big cards because then I think I have to fill them. So that now will sit just nicely on there, if you can see that. Fantastic. I'll turn that over because there's a little bit of a pencil mark. So that's the base done. Right, so let's get on with the stamping. I've got the mat. It's a bit, you should have seen me half an hour ago. I had a bit of a disaster because I spilt some embossing powder, which wasn't very good, and it was the silver superfine. So I was like, oh my days, don't like this. Okay, so the inks I'm using tonight, I've got 2 inks, Rustic Wilderness and Pine Needles. I tend to use distress inks more than oxides. I know, Brian, oh no, it was a disaster completely. I won't tell you what I did last week with the superfine silver and the gold, but hence to say I've got a pot now where there's a mixture of both in. So yeah, so I tend to use more distress ink than oxides. It's whatever you prefer really. You could do this with oxides. It's entirely up to you. It'll work either way. So let's get, where's my block? It's there. And which one? Where's the stamp? There it is. Hope the light's okay as well. Yeah, it was a big oops. I'm nearly having to order again from Hazel. Right, okay, so I'm going to put the branch onto a block simply because it's easier just to do it by hand rather than doing it and moving it all the time in the Misty. But I like to do it into, it's not a Misty, it's a stamping press. I like to do it into the stamping platform because it's got the cushioned bottom and my table's got a bit of a kink to it, so I do like to use this. So what I'm going to do first of all, just come a bit closer, is I'm just going to go in with a bit of the Rustic Wilderness, and then just move you down a bit, there we go, and then just with the Pine Needles I'm just going to gently just tap on the edges, just really randomly tap on the edges. Now you don't have to do that on every single branch, doesn't really matter. And then I'm just going to go in at the top and just press down and come off the edge. And there we go, and we've made a start. So back in again, and you're trying to get a bit of a sort of a triangular formation really as you go in. Yeah, I really do get frightened of big cards. I really don't like them. So, and you can just carry on and just go as random as you like. I'm in awe of anybody. Emma's cards, wow. Emma's cards, Philippa's cards, all the big cards. It's like, I just wouldn't know where to start. So just carry on, going down. You can overlap as you go in, doesn't matter. Trees, pine trees, they're not anything, you know, they're not symmetrical, they're just however you want them. They can be as thick or as full as you like, but just keep going down, going off the edge, and you will eventually start forming your basic sort of tree layout. I hope you're all still there and I'm not talking to myself. It's working a lot better this time round as well. It was a complete well, it wasn't a disaster last time, but of course you all know I had problems with the rotation of my camera. I don't know what happened there, but this week the iPad's working as well, so it's really good. I've just had the waiting for some new school supplies for Oliver, so they've just arrived. I've just heard the door for those, so he's back to school on Tuesday, unfortunately. He's going to be a year 11, so it's a busy old time for him next year. And I'm back at work tomorrow, but never mind. I can always come home and carry on Christmas card making. So I just keep going around, just tapping that pine needles. You don't need much. You could even just have a few leaves where you don't use it at all, really. Just to lighten up just to lighten some of them up. Stick one in there, look. And just keep going down. It was funny because just before I came on live, I went up. I live in a 3-storey townhouse, so my kitchen is downstairs and my living room's upstairs. So I went upstairs to the living room and they're playing The Holiday, you know, the Christmas film. So I sat for 5 minutes and watched that and got myself into a bit of a Christmas spirit. So I'll just add a few more at the bottom. Some nice ones just to make it nice and fluffy, because there's nothing worse than a spindly Christmas tree. Stick a couple more up here, and then we'll do a couple more. You see what I did? I used the pine needles as the top one, never mind. And then we'll add that down there. Okay, I'll stick another one in there. Needs it. What's that one? Rustic. Okay. So, now then, I think I should add another. I think I'm going to add another one in just to give it a little bit more at the base. Just make it a little bit fuller. A little bit. And it doesn't matter that you're stamping 2 colours onto your stamp. It's absolutely fine. You're going on, you know, it won't affect your ink pads, it won't affect your stamp at all. So there we go, that one. That's the, getting them all mixed up. That's the rustic, and that's the pine needles. So I will just give that a little wipe off and stick that back on there. Okay, so that's kind of the basis for the tree. Hope you can see that clearly. And are you all still there? Yeah, that's good. Hope you can see that. And yeah, I think that's fine. I think you're quite nice and full. You could make it fuller. You could even add different colours onto it. You could do a few brownie colours. You could even do some silvery colours. Anything like that, really. It's entirely up to you. How you like your Christmas trees is absolutely fine. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp and emboss the sentiment and the bird. I'll just grab those. Now then, which one have I picked? Merry Christmas. So I'm just going to bob the Merry Christmas down there. About there. That's absolutely fine. Check it straight. In fact, I can put it up into the corner now. Put my magnets on. And then I can get my little bird. I absolutely love this little bird. He's a little sweetie. So, and I'm going to stick him on that branch there. Close everything up. Find the Versamark. And just give him, they don't need a lot. And just give it a little bit of a press. You don't need too much. I'll have to go a bit slower because every time I was watching the iPad just then, and it looks like it gets a bit pixelated, but I will try my best to keep it still for you. So I'll just give them a bit of a wipe off. Oh, lost the bird. Back on there, and then I'm going to get the gold superfine and my, now then, because the ink might still be a little bit wet, the green ink, I'm just going to go really carefully, because I don't know if you spotted the deliberate mistake that I made, is that in my haste, I didn't use my anti-static bag, which was a bit silly of me, but it seems to be okay. There's just a few tiny bits. So I've just got a little paintbrush. I'll just give them a little bit of a blow away. Just give it a wipe, and we should be good. to go. So I'm going to heat it up. In fact, learn from your mistakes, Joe, and put the lid back on your embossing powder. Okay, and we're going to heat up the bird. Come on. When you're ready. There's the bird. And there's the Merry Christmas. Okay. So that superfine gold and superfine silver is absolutely lovely. It's the best embossing powder. I just think it's brilliant. It just gives it such a shine. It's so fine. It just picks up all the detail. It's absolutely fantastic. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go around the outside now with the Versamark. Sometimes it's just nice. It gives it a bit more of a sort of a rustic edge to it rather than matting it with either a piece of gold, because sometimes you don't want to waste your gold. And I think it looks just as nice, a bit rustic and a bit sort of, you know, higgledy, without using a piece of glitter card or a piece of gold. And I just think it's a really nice. And if you've got lots of different coloured embossing powders, then do it. It's a good little thing to do. So I've got the anti-static powder bag. I haven't got a sock yet, Brian. I'm sorry. I'm waiting to see what's in Oliver's drawer. So I'm just going to go around the edges. And I'm going to go over the tree as well. Because although I want it higgledy-piggledy, some of the ink, the distress ink, it's probably fully dry, but you never know. So before I go around the outside with my ink pad, I'm just going to give it a little test. So I'm not going to put any Versamark on anything yet. I'm just going to sprinkle it on and tap it off. And if that works and you're coming off with a clean piece of card, you're good to go. When I did the practice one the other day, yesterday in fact, I did a trial where I sprinkled the embossing powder on and I had a great big finger mark in the corner. So I knew then that it needed a bit more anti-static on it. So all I do is I just get my embossing pad and I just run it across the top and just go around. And it doesn't matter if it's thick, thin, if it's a bit wibbly wobbly, it really doesn't matter. And it doesn't affect your embossing pad either. It doesn't leave grooves in it. It's fine. Mine's disgusting. I don't know what all them little black spots are in it, but never mind. You'll be surprised. You wait till you see the die cutting machine in a bit. You'll laugh at that. Right, so now I'm just going to sprinkle. In fact, because I knew I was coming live today, I gave it a dust. Because I have to do all my crafting in the kitchen. It lives under a little cupboard. And although I do use it quite a lot, I don't dust it very often. So it had a special dust. Right, I'll just give that a bit of a tap off. And it doesn't matter if there's tiny little bits. You can just get your brush. You can leave them if you want, make it look snowy. Or you can just waft some of it away with a brush. There we go. I'll just give that a bit of a tidy up across the top. Okay. Just put this away. So I've now half a pot of silver and half a pot of gold. Because I was having a play the other day using Hazel's Merry Christmas stencil. And I thought, oh, I'll do gold and silver. And I did did the Versamark on it, and then I sprinkled all the gold on and I tapped it off, and then I sprinkled all the silver on and I tapped it off, but I didn't put the gold back in the pot first. So yeah, you just got to, it happens unfortunately, but never mind. So turn that on and we'll just heat that up. And it doesn't take long to go. And just carefully go around the edge, watching your fingers as you go. Round and round and round. Lovely. Okay, so that's the edge. And it's really nice, it just gives it a nice sort of rustic feel. I do like the clean and simple where you've got a nice edge to a mat and a layer, but I think sometimes this just gives it a little bit of a different edge to it. So I'm ready now to get that glued down. So Philippa, Brian, I hope you're proud of me. I've cut up packages. I've got them ready to go. So I'm not using foam pads anymore. I'm on with it as well. So I'm gonna glue this onto the card base. I've already cut it to size. I know exactly, I know that it fits. So I'll just glue that on there like that. And then I'll get that there, a card. And I'll glue that onto the top. There we go. Just give it a really good press down all around the edges. All over. Really good press. And there we go. And now here's the nice bit. Get the glosses out. These are the winter berries. I love these, they're so shiny and sparkly. So, just randomly, wherever, I just tend to use the gold, the silver and the red, but if you want to do more contemporary colours, you can do pinks and purples, you can stick with the traditional. I do all the different sizes. If you haven't got the glosses, you could use stickles, you could use glitter, any kind of glitter glue that you've got. You could even do little bits of embossing powder onto it. Oh, can't get it up. And just go around and add there. Put that there. See where we need another. Put a gold one there. We'll put a silver one at the top. And I think we'll have a silver one at the bottom. Okay. And there we go. You could add as many or as little as you like. I'm a bit stingy. I don't like to waste them. I like to use them. So that's the first one done. Nice and simple. You could batch make, you could do your stamping one day and then your embossing the other day, and it's absolutely fine, no problem. Just go back to it and then do all your putting your stickles on, or your glosses, another time. So really, really easy card to do. Okay, right, next one. Just tidy those away. Tidy that up. The next one we're going to do is this triangle tree. I hope you're all still there and you've not left me. So we're going to do the triangle tree next. Loved this when I saw it. I saw the colours as well. Now, I don't profess to be particularly good with colours. I do use Pinterest. I like to look at colour blends on Pinterest. So the ones for this card is Villainous Potion, Peacock Feathers and Salvaged Patina. So Villainous Potion, Peacock Feathers and Salvaged Patina. But I thought tonight, I'd try some different colours and do a different one. So tonight, we are going to use, we're going to go pink and green. I think it's that way around, isn't it? We're going to go picked raspberry, spun sugar, cracked pistachio and evergreen bough. Okay. And I just think it just nice Christmassy colours as well still. Nice and contemporary. Okay, so I've got my 10 by 30 again, so I'm just gonna cut my card. What am I going to do with it? I'm going to score it, not cut it. I'll just go down at 15. Give it a fold over. And a nice press down. And that's that done. Okay, so that's the card base done. I've also pre-cut a black mat. I do like black backgrounds. I tend to do black backgrounds a lot. I think that they're really, really effective. And I've got my base that I'll be doing my blending and my stamping on. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do though is I'm going to stamp and emboss the sentiment. So we can get that done. So just get my piece of card and I'll get the square Christmas. I love this as well because the dies are fantastic that go with them. So I'm going to stamp it with black VersaFine and then I'm going to clear emboss over the top. And the reason I'm doing that is VersaFine can take quite a while to dry, the black VersaFine, especially if you've got a juicy ink pad as well. And so what you don't want to do, especially if you're using lighter colours of ink, is for it to get a bit muddy and the black blend in. To the colour, because you want to keep it as crisp and as nice as you can. So I'll just press that down. Now I could leave it to dry and that's absolutely fine, but I am going to emboss it. So I've got my piece of scrap paper and a tub of clear embossing powder. So I'll just sprinkle that on. And I didn't use the anti-static as well, and there's no real need to with this one because you're going to be die cutting it. You don't really need to bother with that. Pop that back in there and get that heat set. And it gives it a shine as well. Sometimes when you put in distress ink over the top, it can dull the black, but it gives it a shine. So that's really nice to do. So that's that bit done. And you see that? It just gives it a nice little shine to it. I don't know if it's picking it up. Might not be. But it just shines. and it just makes it look that bit more nicer. Okay, so I don't need the press just yet. Let's take that off. I'll clean it later, I promise. I'll clean my stamp later. It's a piece of scrap card. Okay, so this piece of card for the base is just shy of 10 centimetres. Okay, so I know that if I place it in between the line there and the line there, I can mark out where the 5 centimetre is roughly. So I've just done a little pencil mark at the top, and then I've just gone down to the bottom of my grid mat and just found where the next sort of centimetre is, and I've just done a pencil mark either side, and that's where I'm going to place the washi tape. I just need to get just a mat just to put it on. So I've just got some washi tape. You could use post-it tape, masking paper, printer paper, anything really. I'm just going to try and de-stick some of the washi tape because it will pull if you're not careful with it. So I'm just going to put that, line that up with the pencil mark at the top and at the bottom, and just stick it down. And I'm just going to put another piece just over the top because, knowing me, I'll probably get ink where I don't want it. So I'm just on my jeans and on my arm. Ow, that hurt. Just lay it down. You don't need to press it down really hard, just enough that it sticks. So on the jeans again, give it a rub, and it just takes off some of the sticky. So I just line it up with the pencil mark at the top and the pencil mark at the bottom. Now on the one I sent to Julie, the first one, I'd done it where there was a gap, top and bottom. It had like a border, but I thought this looked quite nice doing it with the triangle going straight to the top. So that's what I'll do. Just move that up. Can everybody see that okay? Okay. So I've got that masked up. That's absolutely fine. And now let's make a start with the inking. So I'm going to start with the picked raspberry at the top, and then I'm going to go with the spun sugar, and then I'm going to go cracked pistachio and evergreen bough. So I've got my pink. This is quite a juicy picked raspberry, so I just tap some off, and you can just start in a circular motion going round. And I love ink blending. If I lose my mojo or anything, or I'm really struggling, I just look for some inspiration, for some colours, and I just sit and I ink blend, and I think, and it's like, oh, those colours work really well together. Why did I not know that? I'm shocking. I don't know about anybody else. I'm absolutely shocking at putting colours together. Even if I'm, you know, like flowers or anything like that, I just really struggle. So that's where I like to see the inspiration of other people. So I've just got a piece of kitchen roll. I'm going to go in with the spun sugar next, but I just want to wipe off just a bit of that dark. What was that? I just missed a comment then. What was that? Yeah, Philippa, I love ink blending. Love it, love it, love it. And then you can see what you've made, and they just look so fantastic when they're done. So this is the spun sugar. Oh, and you see, it's what I need. A piece of post-it tape. Look, that's what happens. I've only got little ink pads. So my hands get, as you're holding your ink pad, you tend to get inky fingers. So if I put my fingers on top of a piece of post-it tape, then the inkiness goes onto the post-it tape, but it doesn't matter. It's at the end of the day, it's fine. So I think that's about nice enough for that. And they do smooth out as you go. They might look a little bit blotchy to start with, but the Distress inks, they do start to smooth out and they do give you a really nice effect. So we're going to do, the cracked pistachio. I hope you're all there still. This one's a bit dry, I think. Takes a while to come in. And with the pink and the green, with the cracked pistachio and the spun sugar, as you blend in the two together, you get a bit of a lilac-y colour as well, which is really, really nice. Just as you're going down. So you end up with more colours than you start with, which is really good. I think blending frightens me for years until I started watching Philippa Lewis Tech Tuesdays. That's brilliant, Samantha. I love Philippa's Tech Tuesdays. I've learnt so much. I learn so much every time I watch anybody's lives. And I sit. Alexa, stop. Sorry. You sit there and you think, oh God, why didn't I think of that? What a fantastic idea. Some people, they have the most amazing ideas. It's brilliant. So this is the evergreen bow now. This is the bottom colour. And I didn't put a piece of tape at the bottom purely because I'm just going to let it kind of blend down really. Just to soften the bottom. So I'll just put that on. Give that a go. And just try with any colours. I think for Christmas now, you can use traditional colours, you can use contemporary colours. I don't think it matters anymore for Christmas. I think any colours for Christmas. I'll just give that a nice blend up. And there we go. I think maybe just try and put a bit more cracked pistachio just down there. It does make you want to craft. Alexa, play some Christmas music. Oh gosh, she's going again. Hello? She's off. It's a bit of wham for you there, Brian. Alexa, stop. Okay. Right, so that is the base done. Now, I've got there a little bit of an ink splodge, and so I'm going to try and get some of it off with my sand eraser. Doesn't matter if you can't. Seems a shame, just to give it a try. These are fantastic little things. Just go in really lightly and see if you can get some of it off. Gosh, it's 7:15 already. Okay. Right, so that's the base done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do exactly the same. I'm going to do it on the sentiment. So we'll go back in again with the picked raspberry. Just move that out of the way a minute. Stick that up there, just let that dry off a bit. So I'm just going to go, and it doesn't matter, I'm going over the edges because I'm going to die cut it, and then I'm going to use the scraps to go underneath to give it a bit of dimension, because I do like to use scrap card underneath sentiments and things like that. I think it just works better than foam pads again. Keeping away from those foam pads. But it just uses up any bits of scrap that you've got as well. So keep everything all your parcels and your packages and your pizza boxes. And then you can have an afternoon cutting them all up and using them underneath. Let's go in and get a bit of a darker at the start there. Started somebody else's one off. I'm not saying her name again. I'm not. She's very sensitive, is my little friend that sits on my table. Oh, that didn't work very well, Joe. Blooming heck. What's happened? Never mind. That's an ink that's too wet. Oh, it's gone very lilac-y there. Never mind. And the evergreen bow at the bottom. I'll try and get some of that lighter colour up. Okay, that'll be fine. It's not ideal. I didn't really want the sort of the darker bit there, but it's absolutely fine. It's not a problem. So we'll just leave that to dry for a second and we'll come back to this. Now then, you need to peel your washi tape off really carefully because it can sometimes catch. So just do it really, really slowly. But if you've given it a good press onto some clothing, and we used to have one, my daughter used to have one, beautiful, nice crisp edges. My iPad's frozen. I hope everything's okay. So beautiful crisp edges. So now I'm just going to do the stamping of the trees. So where's my stamping platform? Bob that in there. Okay. Oh, do you know, this table was so tidy and lovely and organised. And now I've just been chucking stuff around. So I'm going to use the little set of 3 trees there. I'm not going to use that one because it's actually a bit bigger. I'm going to use the medium-ish sized one and the tiddler at the bottom. So, and I'm not going to stamp and emboss these. I could do, but because my ink from my distress ink is still really, really wet, I'd have to start drying it off and messing around, and I don't want to. So I've just done it. Oh, move the thing out of the way. I've just done it so the tree itself, the triangle, just hangs off onto the edge of the white. Where is my VersaFine? Just get that nicely stamped up and just give it a little press. You don't need a massive press, just a little bit. And the beauty with having a stamping press is that if it doesn't quite work the first time, you can go in and do it again. Just give it a bit of a clean off. And that can go back on there. And then I'm going to get the little one. So now, also, you can just line them up and you can tuck it in really nicely next to the other one. So I'll just do that tree first. Oh, where's it gone? Oh, it's there. Give it a little press. And then take that one off, give it a wipe. And then the little tiddler at the bottom, and just bob that one there. those are my little trees done. Love these little trees, they're so contemporary. And now you could add glitter to them, anything, glossy accents. I might stick a bit of glitter in. We'll see how we get on. So that's pretty much done. Now I need to do the sentiment. So I'll just move the press out of the way. Move that. Tidy those up a bit. So this is where I have to apologise. I'll just bend down and get the die cutting machine. Because the handle comes off. Which is good actually, because I don't know if you can see that. Let me turn it that way around. Oh, I can't do it that way. Hang on. You might just have to use your imagination. Okay, there we go. The handle comes off, but it does mean that it fits under my cupboard really, really well. So I'm just going to line this up, line the die up with the Christmas sentiment. Just look over a little bit and line it up. You could tape it down if you wanted to, but I'm reasonably happy with that. And just run it through. And there we go. It's embossed it. It's not embossed it. What am I talking about? It's cut it really, really well. But what I'm going to do as well is I'm just going to run it through another couple of times, just to run the die through another couple of times, because I'm going to use the scrap that's on the bottom. I need one of those little die cutting machines. That's what I'm going to get myself. Next payday, I'm going to get one of those little ones that Julie had on her desk the other day. That was a lovely one. I liked that. I'm going to treat myself. So I'll bob that in. And then run that through. There we go. So I've got another couple of pieces for the bottom. Okay, and then that can go in the bin. And then I just fold that up, take the handle off and tuck it away. Right, so there's my sentiment. So I'm just going to put some glue on the back of one of them and glue it on. And it just gives it that bit more dimension to it. And it is, you know, it's a good way of using up your scraps, especially if you've got tiny little bits of scrap. Just to use them up. Oh my days, what am I doing? That's it. Just to use them up. And it just gives it that little bit of dimension. It makes it more solid as well, rather than foam pads. That could, you know, have bits underneath. So that is going to go on there like that. But what I'm going to do next is I'm going to give it the snow. So I've got some Wow Ultra Bright White Ultra High, which is fantastic. Now I don't know if you saw last time's live where I blew it everywhere. I'm going to try this time to keep it all in one place to make it look like snow. Now, if you haven't got any of this, another good way of doing it is to use your spray bottle. And we could give it a try. So, just to show you. So if you take the lid off your spray bottle and you tap the water onto your ink, just really carefully, just tap it on. What the water will do is lift off some of the ink. So rather than spraying it direct, I saw somebody doing it on a YouTube video the other day. If you just undo your spray bottle and tap it out, and then if you just, your paper towel, wipe it on and wipe it off, you can get little snowy marks. Okay, and it just lifts off some of that darker colour of ink. But I am going to use the Ultra High as well. So I don't know if I do this right. If there's another technique to it, somebody please tell me. But I just get my fingers in it and I just sprinkle it all over. I still, after all these years of crafting, it's still very much a learning curve for me. And I watch people do it and I think, wow, they do it so differently. But they do it so better. Why didn't I think of doing a way or a technique a certain way? So I just, with my paintbrush, because I don't really want any on the white, I'm just going to put the lid on. Now then, I'm going to heat it from underneath. So I'm just going to have to move it away from my camera slightly. I'm going to get my tool. I'm just going to heat it up a little bit. I've not got a lot of room, so if you just bear with me, I'll try and do it from underneath. You probably won't be able to see me for a second, but I'll get there. So just heat it from underneath and all of a sudden it'll start to go. You might see a little bit of steam or what you think could be smoke coming off your paper. It's not, it's just the ink that's probably just still a little bit wet. Just keep going with it and it'll go eventually. I hope you can see that. Don't really want to burn my phone. Just keep going round with it. A little bit down this corner. Just keep going. And it will eventually, I don't know if you can see that, it makes beautiful snow. Absolutely love it. I only got this pot of powder a couple of weeks ago and it's like, why have I never had that powder before? It's amazing stuff. I absolutely love it. Brilliant. Get yourself some. Right, so now it's time to stick everything together. And I've lost absolutely everything. Oh, there they are. So, card base. And then I'll just get the black. I'm not 3Ding it this time because I think it's got 3 layers. It's got the card mat and then the card itself, and the sentiments got some dimension to it. So I'm not going to layer it up. I'm just going to leave it flat down. I'm going to give it a good press. Didn't score that very well, did I? Straighten that up a bit. Okay, give it a really good press all around the edges, all down the middle. Okay, and then I'm going to stick this on the top. And what I sometimes do, because your card, because you've heated it to melt the embossing powder, it goes a bit warped, a little bit crinkly. So apart from pressing it down, but I get a bigger acrylic block and I just give it a really good press down. And it just kind of helps you flatten everything down. It's not perfect, but you just keep going round with it. And then you can add your sentiment onto the bottom. Like that. And just tuck it across. And if you just do it a little bit so you've got some of the green underneath. That's that. There we go. Now you can add, let's add a bit of glitter to the trees. Is there any coming out? A little bit of glitter. Just to give them a little bit of a sparkle. And you could do the same with your sentiment as well. You could add some glitter to it, so a bit underneath. Just give it a little bit of sparkle. just randomly. Or you could add glossy accents. There we go. So that is it. So from the blue one to the pink one. I'm not quite sure which I like the best. Yeah, I think in lots of different colours, edging towards the pink. I really like it, but I do think if you try lots of different colours, they'll be fantastic. And you don't need to do the trees. You could do the stop. You know, you could do these trees. You could do the stags. It's absolutely and your choice. You know, change them up a bit. So those are, I'll just show you the ones. Move those there. Those are the cards for tonight. So I'm just going to flip you around. Bear with me. Whew. Hope you enjoyed that. I'm shattered. I've still got a full mug of coffee. I don't know what happens. I get talking and I forget to drink the coffee. So I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget that next week there's still some more inspiration with Tracy on Monday and Philippa on Tuesday and Joe on Wednesday. What was that? What were your colours for the blue one? The blue one was it was Villainous Potion, Peacock Feathers and Salvaged Patina. And if you want, I'll take photographs and I'll put the ink pads that I used next to each card and I'll put them on the page so you can see the ink pads I've used. Okay, if that'll help, that's no problem whatsoever. Right then, so don't forget, more inspiration next week, more inspiration on the Pinterest boards, and yeah, happy playing, happy crafting. It's nearly Christmas anyway now, forget summer, summer's done, it's nearly Christmas, so get started. Okay then, I'll see you again soon, bye.